Hi everybody, Marcus here, and I've been asked to do a video on what are the 5 traits for a successful trader and investor. Now, quite frankly, already the question is not a good one. Why? Because there are different traits to an investor than there are to an trader, right? Okay, but let's all put it together like everybody out there does. They go, oh, well, isn't that all the same? No, but okay, let's just pretend that it is for this one time, okay? The number one thing, and I've written them down over here, so if you see me glancing over here, it's because I've got them written down, is number one is, and by the way, there's no particular order, is you need to have a certain amount of discipline. Now, what is discipline? Well, discipline just means being able to follow a strategy. A strategy has rules. Okay, so here are the rules. So if you're taking notes, please write them down. You need to know where to invest. What are you going to invest in? Gold, you're going to invest in cryptos, you're going to invest in foreign exchange, etc., etc. You also need to know when to get in, and you need to know when to get out. Okay. Now you also now I don't want to go into too much detail here because that's an entire video, but you need to know when to get out at a loss and at a profit. Okay, so you need to know that in advance. That's very, very important. And you need to know how much money to invest. Because remember, we're only risking 1% of our entire portfolio when we trade. Okay, so very, very important indeed. So you need to know the rules. Now, number one rule is you need to know the rules. What do you think number 2 is? I'm going to ask Gabriella. Once you know the rules, what do you think you need to do once you know the rules? You need to
follow the rules.
See, she does listen. She doesn't look like she's listening, but she is listening. Which is you need to follow the rules, right? Now, most people don't have a plan, so there's nothing to follow. And a lot of the people that have a plan don't follow the plan. They have no discipline. That's all you need to do. Now, it's easy not to have discipline if you don't have a plan, right? So you need a plan. Once you have a plan, it is so much easier to follow the plan. And that's what we talk about, having discipline. Are you willing? Do you have enough faith and trust in that strategy that you're doing? Even though it might not be working right now. It doesn't matter if it's not working right now because the market's doing whatever the market's doing. Are you disciplined enough to get in when you're supposed to get in, get out when you're supposed to get out, and to follow the plan no matter what? Because you know that in the end, if you keep doing it, you will make money. That's the secret, just so you know. That's the secret, okay? That's only number 1. Number 2, no particular reason. Are you willing, here's a trait, to put in the work? You know, some people think that you can just start some online business, and by the way, I believe this to be the perfect online business because you can do it from a company you own. I've got about 21 reasons for this, okay? But it doesn't matter. But the point is are you willing to do the work? Because most people think that they can start an online business and they heard somewhere that you can work from home and you don't have to do anything and all the money will just come pouring in and all this kind of stuff. It comes pouring in once you do the work. Now, I actually believe that there is no such thing as a lazy person. I think everybody would be willing to do the work if it gets the results, right? So I don't think so. So even if you see a person who they look pretty lazy, you should see them eat. They're not lazy at all. Look at them. Oh, they're not lazy at all. So there's no such thing. Are they interested or are they not? And this is so interesting. This is amazing. Trading and investing is one of the 5 pillars of creating wealth. So it is something you absolutely need to be doing and you need to put in the work. Now, this leads me on to what does the work actually mean? Well, what if I told you it is just 20 minutes a day? But you need to do the 20 minutes a day, right? So now you say, 20 minutes a day, I can do 20 minutes a day. Not so fast. Because did you ever say to yourself that you were going to go to the gym every day for 20 minutes or 30 minutes? Now, other people are going, they go the opposite, right? Because you can't please anybody. Like, you can never be right. It's like, oh yeah, some people are saying, well, 20 minutes isn't enough. Are you kidding me? If you focus 20, what kind of a strategy do you have here? We have an end of day strategy, so 20 minutes is plenty. And if you do that every day for 365 days, let me tell you, all right, let me ask you, if you did 20 minutes of press-ups and sit-ups a day, and I'm not talking about 20 press-ups or sit-ups, I'm talking about 20 minutes, your arms would look nothing like this. Your arms would look amazing, wouldn't it? I mean, you would like, you'd be 20 minutes a day is a lot if it's focused and concentrated time. In fact, they say that if you focus on a material that you're reading, it has to be quite focused for 20 minutes a day. Within 1 to 1.5 years, you will be an expert. And within 2 to 3 years, you will be an international expert. 20 minutes a day that's all you need to do. But you need to do it. You don't need to do it every day, really. You just need to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then someday on either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Okay? Got to put in the work. So if you are here listening to this and you think you don't have to do anything to make a lot of money, please unsubscribe. I don't know what channel this is on. Please go somewhere else because you are in the wrong place. In fact, you're in the wrong planet and the wrong universe. Number 3, you need to be open and willing to learn. Another word for this, translation, is coachable. Because there are people, they are just know-it-alls. And I'm going to say to you that what you probably need to do, unless you're already making consistent profits, of course, is you need to be a learn-it-all. You need to be soaking up the information. You need to be asking questions. You need to be putting up your hand saying, but Marcus, what do you mean exactly by this? In other words, you just want to get from where you are now to wherever you want to go, but 10 times faster than you can do by yourself. And that's a trait that I believe I have, and I've been told that I have, is I'm just coachable. So, because if somebody who is more successful than me is telling me to do something, why would I fight it? Some people fight it. They're like, yeah, but I'll do it my way. You can, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying you won't get the result that I'm telling you will get. But they do it anyway. And then they wonder why it doesn't work for them. Now, could you do it your way maybe after 3 or 4 months after we've coached you? Of course, because what we always say to people, listen, for the first 2 or 3 months, just do exactly what we say and don't change anything. But Marcus, I'm making money. Don't I? No, don't do it. But Marcus, I'm not making money. Don't I need to change anything? No. Keep following the rules because we want to make sure that you're following them, so be coachable in that way. Now, afterwards, you can start changing things. You can start, once you follow the recipe, you can start adding a little bit of, you can add some raisins to the cake. You can add, it's like a recipe, right? But not immediately. Why would you go out there looking for a recipe on how to make money or baking a cake, I always say, and start changing things immediately? Instead of sugar, you put in honey. Well, that changes stuff. Instead of flour or wheat flour, you use rye flour. It changes stuff, but people do this all the time. Why? Because they're not coachable, and then they wonder why they don't achieve the results. Sometimes you just have to be a little bit humble and say, I don't know everything. Listen, I've been trading for over 18 years. I don't know everything. Of course I don't. I'm still learning. Although, I have to say, over the last 18 years, we've seen plenty of up markets, down markets, sideways markets, volatile markets, non-volatile markets. So after 18 years, we can pretty much say we have proven strategies. Number 4, in no particular order, is perseverance. What do I mean by perseverance? Never give up. That's key, because you have some people, generally the get-rich-quick crowd, who think that they're going to probably become a millionaire within 4 weeks. Sound about right? Look, you might make it in 4 weeks. But the likelihood is, because we teach you compound growth, in other words, reinvesting the profit, so you have something bigger, then you make the same percentage on that larger amount. You don't need a larger percentage. You need the same percentage or larger amount, and then you reinvest. Now you have a larger amount, percentage, larger amount, and that compound. And all of our clients who have made big sums of money, we're talking about hundreds of thousands, even millions of profits, tell us when they actually see compound growth in action in their accounts, it is like magic. It's a miracle. It's absolutely amazing. Where did this money come from, Marcus? I know that's what compounding is, okay? But you need to make sure that you continue, even if you are not getting the results that you were expecting right at the beginning. And you might get them right at the beginning, but I'd prefer it if you didn't. I'd prefer it that you just kept losing money at the beginning. Pardon? I thought you were on our side, Marcus. I thought you wanted us to learn. Let me tell you a story of one of our graduates, Marcel. He had 1 loss, 2 losses, 3 losses, 4 losses, 5 losses in a row. 6 losses, 7 losses, 8 losses, 9 losses, 10 losses in a row. Now, how many of you would have already given up? Half of you are going to go, oh, not me, okay, fine. What about 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 losses in a row? Would you have given up? Come on, be honest. Would you at least started doubting yourselves? Yes or no? The answer is probably yes, right? What about this? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 losses. Gabriella, would you still be doing it?
No.
No, you wouldn't, right? And then he carried on 22 losses in a row. He got his laptop and he was going to throw it out the window. And his wife, Barbara, stopped him and said, Marcel, what are you doing? You know, just keep going. Yeah, but it doesn't work and all this kind. Anyway, he realized that he was doing a couple of things wrong as well, but he didn't give up. And so what that means is that he continued. He had perseverance. He was down over 40% on his entire account, not following the rules. He traded the whole thing up, and at the end of the year, he made a massive, humongous, incredible 1%. Okay, now you're probably thinking, well, that isn't a great story, Marcus, because you only made 1%. Well, he was down 40%, so he made a lot of it back up. And in the second year, he made 132% on his entire portfolio. Why? Because he had perseverance. He didn't give up. Now, we coached him all along the way, and with the weekly calls and the one-on-ones and all this kind of stuff, because that's what we do. In his third year, he made 1,120% on his entire portfolio, which basically means however much money you have, imagine how much money you have, now times it by 10. Well, actually more, but add a little zero to the right-hand side. That's what we did in 1 year. And last year, he only made 320%. And he's annoyed because he's like, yeah, but I had all this other work and all this kind of stuff. He only made 300. Now, at the stage where you are at, where you're disappointed at 320%, at that stage, you're doing well. That's all I'm going to say. And why? I'm going to come back to it. Because of perseverance, he never gave up. Because most people, they give up after 3 losses, is it? Which, okay. But anyway, we teach you, anyway, doesn't matter. The point is that you will never know, will you? Because you've already given up, And people give up all the time. They give up on this, they give up on this, and they give up. And if I were to have my Sherlock Holmes kind of, I'm looking through the, what's it called? One of those, Sherlock Holmes, he would look through a magnifying glass. Yeah, this is supposed to be a magnifying glass. Thank you. And he looks through this and he goes, interesting. Looks through that. It didn't work with property. It didn't work with internet marketing. It didn't work with MLM. It didn't work with stock trading. It didn't work with the job and business. And said, right, I've drawn to the conclusion that it's your fault because you were at the scene of every single crime. It's you. You didn't have the perseverance. You didn't have the belief in yourself that you would adapt and make good along the way. And I hope that makes sense. Number 5, being willing to learn to master your emotions. Now that, see, because I would say discipline, most people, they can do it, right? Especially if they know that they're going to get the result. Put in the work, I don't think there's anybody who's scared of some work if they know the result. Coachable, I think most people are coachable if they respect that person enough, right? Perseverance, never giving up, that one's a little bit tougher because maybe you're in the habit of giving up, but if you know this is going to work, I'm sure you'll keep going. Number 5, being willing to learn how to master your emotions. Most people are like, well, how do I do that? So this is something you might need to learn. Maybe this is the missing ingredient when it comes to trading and investing success. Because most people will react when they're in profit too fast. Imagine that the bank only gave you 1% or 2% a year and you made that within 1 day on your entire account. You'll go, normally I get that in a year, now I've already made it in 1 day. So emotionally, you want to take that profit. Make sure it's in the bank, pocket the money. Don't do it because it goes against one of the 2 golden rules of trading and investing, which is to let your profits run as long as possible and hope it goes up 100% or more. See? But if you took it at 2%, you're never going to make 100%. You're never going to do that. By the way, stocks do go up 100%. In fact, we give our graduates a list of a monthly list. It gets refreshed every single month, of companies that grow by 100, 200, even 300% a year. So it not only does it happen, but we want it to happen a year. So that's one thing. What about if it goes down? What if it goes against you? You know, and and this reminds me about the stop loss. I don't know whether I ever told you the story about the person. This was in Norway, who, and this is emotional mastery. It's like it comes and he put a stop loss. A stop loss is an electronic order that stops your losses. Okay, it's like it shouldn't move, right? And and then I told the group about stop losses, and he came up to me in the break and said, "Oh yeah," well, I'm not going to do the accent, but he said, "Oh, now I understand about stop losses. Yeah." Because he told me he was trading gold and he had a stop loss and it came down and he got emotional. So instead of coming out and saying, well, it's just part of it, losses, as long as you have more profits, it doesn't matter whether you have loss, gain, it doesn't matter. But what did he do? Because he got emotional, what did he do? He lowered his stop loss. I looked at him and I go, are you kidding me here? I started giggling a little bit. He goes, oh yeah. And then as it came down, I thought, oh no, this is not good, So I lowered it again. And at this stage, I am on the floor. I have I just had, when you have the giggles and you just can't, and this is in front of a lot of people, I couldn't help it. Because the whole point of a stop loss is to stop your losses, not to lower it every time you don't like it. Why? Because he wasn't mastering, maybe he just didn't understand the concept of a stop loss. It's a hard stop. In other words, now, if you're in profit, you can move it up, right? You can keep doing that until you make your 100%. But most people don't even know this, I'm telling you. Listen, if I were to summarize all of this, I were to say that the trait of a successful trader has got to be coachable. Why? Because you've got to know that if you don't know something, you still have to learn it. So find somebody like us, for example, but if you don't learn it with us, then learn it somewhere else, but learn how to trade and invest profitably. They should teach you, how does discipline actually work? What does it mean putting in the work? What does it mean being coachable? Having perseverance, etc. before, so you know what to expect. And then the mastering your emotions is incredibly important, and there are tricks and tips to do that. And of course, one of them is having your trading plan. Because let's say something happens, it goes up very fast, it comes down very fast. Maybe it goes up very, very slowly. It comes down very, very slowly. It gaps up, it gaps down. Whatever, maybe you don't know what that is yet, but what do? Well, your trading plan has got all of those elements written in. So instead of becoming emotional about it, just get emotional about opening up your trading plan. By the way, our trading plan is a one-pager. You put it up in front of your computer, you have it there, so whatever happens, you just go, what do I need to do? I need to do this. And then you follow the trading plan. So it's all about having a strategy taught to you by people who know what they're doing. It's proven track record. You've been trading for 18 years, and make sure that you then follow that plan, because it will work. Why would it not work? Why would it not work? Some people say, well, maybe one of the traits actually is belief in yourself. But I got to tell you, that's got nothing to do with trading and investing. That's got to do with you, because it doesn't matter whether it's about relationships, it doesn't matter whether it's about health and fitness, it doesn't matter whether it's about finance, it doesn't matter. The key to success is to believe that you can do it. In other words, believe in yourself. We meet people all the time that just don't have that much belief in themselves, but we believe in them more than they believe in themselves. Then they start believing themselves, right? And it's beautiful. And they open up like a flower. And then, wow, everything changes. Even though we're talking about trading and investing, you can use these skills in every single aspect of your life. We've covered a lot here. I could carry on. I could go deeper, detailed, broader, wider, whatever, but I think we'll leave it there. Those are the 5 traits of a successful trader and investor.